Hi, it's Leslie, Seeking Sister Wife, and we're starting off with the Davis family. And I just want to start with a disclaimer. This episode is a stomach turner. So for those queasy viewers and those easily made nauseous, this may not be the episode for you. But anyway, the wives gave their go-ahead, and chop chop. Next episode, Nick gets to take Jasmine out on a date. And as we know, Nick is excited and has this to say about his potential sister wife.
Wow. Seeing Jasmine for the first time, I mean, she was drop dead gorgeous. You know, even prettier than I am. So that's definitely a bonus.
Alrighty then. All right, just stick with me. I know it's rough. Okay, so the first thing I had to ask to myself is like, okay, so Nick's going to take this girl out. Nick doesn't have a job. Nick doesn't have any money. Who's paying for the date? I'm assuming, they want Nick to pay because, this one wants people to pay for things. I'm assuming that's why she's in this. So do they all get together and say, here, Nick, here's your money to go out? Do they give him, extra money? Like, we'd be like, well, I need a little more than that. What happens if we want to go to a hotel after? Do they have rules about, like, you can't go to a hotel after? These are all the things I want to know. But I'm assuming they had to give him money because he has no job. So there you go. And then it got really confusing for me, which is, I am easily confused with this stuff because it is just nonsense. But anyway, Nick wants to know if she really understands their dynamic in the relationship. And all I hear with that is like, does she know she has to work and give me money and I don't have to work and marry anybody and I don't do anything? That's all I hear. But he sums it up like this.
I'm not certain how much of our relationship structure they've discussed with you, but spirituality is something that we keep entirely grounded and based in science and mathematics. Good. So we just, like to kind of keep our feet on the ground, so to speak.
Of course.
Say what? I mean, I consider myself fairly intelligent. That made no sense. What does that mean? You are grounded in science and mathematics. What? I was like, and he's saying it to her, and she's just, yes, she wants to agree to everything. And I'm still sitting there scratching my head as she comes out with, oh yes, science is proven, and viruses and bacteria. And I was like, what? I was like, they're all freaking nuts. They deserve each other. I don't know. I had to continue on. I could not dwell on that nonsense because it made absolutely no friggin' sense. And she says she's protected by two goddesses. Whatever. Welcome to the family. You're a nut job too. Anyway, they're on this carriage ride. And then the other thing I'm thinking, is this in New York City? I'm looking at that. I saw Water Street and I'm like, oh my God, that's a little too close to home. I'm on the East Coast here. We don't want the riffraff over here of these crazies. But anyway, looked like they were in New York City getting a carriage ride. Nick's sitting there with his little dapper suit and everything, I guess first date suit. And kept wanting to take that jacket off. Like, he kept wanting to give her the jacket. I was like, why does he want to take that jacket off? Maybe he looks better in the yellow, popping with, I don't know. But she didn't want the jacket or whatever. But I noticed, you look at their body language. He had his hand on her leg and everything. She was just, looking forward, with short, legs showing and all the things showing. And Nick was just, Google at like a freaking dog in heat. It was just disgusting, but whatever. Anyway, and then another stomach turner, Nick was like, you could tell all he wants to do is just make out with these people and take it further or whatever. And then they kissed, but I was looking at them and I was like, she was not kissing him. She was just like, I got to do this. This is part of the gig, just get through it. Not to be graphic. I don't think her mouth did not open. And I was like, thank you from one who is, I didn't know I was a little queasy, but I found my inner nauseousness watching this little crap. But anyway, they kissed and he was much more into it than her. She just got through it. That's what I saw.
You're hilarious.
And I was quite thankful. Thank you. Anyway, the carriage ended and they went on and do you want to continue this on at another spot? And they went and got more drinks, I guess they gave him a good pile of money to have his date. And then that Nick, with the lines and stuff, wanted her to know that he's definitely attracted to her and all the things, I'm attracted to your mind, but don't mislead that to think I'm not looking at your body, because I am.
You look phenomenal, Jasmine.
Thanks.
Wow. Oh my goodness. I will spend a lot of time focused on your mind and your psychology. But I don't want to give the impression that I'm not interested in the rest of you just as much, okay?
Yeah, I assumed he was looking at her body, but we have to realize Nick's deeper than that. He wants to know them intellectually, as he says, I don't just want to jump on your body. I want to know your mind too. Yeah, right.
It's just that, just the way I operate, I don't want your body if I can't have access to your mind.
But thankfully, Jasmine kind of says, yep, don't worry, you won't.
You won't have access to my body before having access to my mouth.
Well, then
Keep
I'm
that
glad
in
we're
mind.
not going to have any conflict in that area.
So I don't think she's going to give it up to Nick anytime soon. But as for most, you go on a date, you want to lead with your strongest asset. Maybe it's your love of sports or your kindness toward kids or whatever your strongest asset, but that's what you want to talk about. Well, Nick was no different there. He'd start to talk about his strongest asset.
My sex is a powerful thing. Can't just be putting that out there just yet. I don't want you to get that wrapped up or caught up in anything until you're able to decide, with a clear mind that this is where you want to be. You know what I mean? Hey,
Oh, God, it's just ew, 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 ew. But I guess since the date went so swimmingly, Nick realizes nothing's going to happen here on this carriage ride around this little place where we're getting a drink. We got to get her back where I can actually get something to happen. So he invites her back and says, do you want to have a test run for the weekend at my house? And she, of course, was a little taken back, but I think was yes, yes, yes. But I do believe she's seeing the direction that this is going, and she realizes she better lay the groundwork here, that this is not going to happen as quick as you're used to, just so you know.
I will want to take things a little slowly.
just know that that's okay. I don't
Patience is the only thing I'll really ask for.
Yepper. But anyway, so their glorious date ended. I guess she went home, Nick went home, and there was Danielle waiting up for him because I guess she was stressed out. She doesn't like this, but she's she's just doing what she's got to do to stay in the family fold. And she asked him, how'd the date go? And he says it was great and they had a connection and all the things, and he thought she was into him. Of course, he's probably like, yeah, who wouldn't be? But Danielle was like, oh, did you kiss? And he was like, yeah, and you could see Danielle was like, whoa. And he let her know that she might be coming over to spend the night. And we all know what that means. That separate bedroom, not gonna do it all in that big old bed. But anyway, Nick saw that Natalia was a little upset. So he's like, oh, I can make you relax and all the things. And they happily went upstairs. And I think, not to be gross, Nick got primed by someone else, and Natalia's getting sloppy seconds there. But anyway, you just gotta get used to that. This was a gross one. Anyway, I follow this nonsense every week, so if you want to follow along, please subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I will see you next week. Bye.